usually, gets the hook out. What time is it? 8:00. I'm late, aren't I?
No, you're just taking away from JP's time. So.
Oh, hell. All right, I'll be around. Thank you very much.
Okay, today's program is our new member induction and perfect attendance recognition, and I'll turn it over to JP.
No, I'm trying to figure out where that crow
Thank
is.
you, Bert. Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good. Glad to hear it. Sometimes I get here early and I put the songbooks out because I know how much this group loves to sing. We had an interesting one this morning. As you were playing, Sue, I'm sitting there going through Battle Hymn of the Republic going, do I remember the words to the second verse? But fortunately you stopped. But why don't we begin? Group singing is an old Rotary tradition, and I was rarely as wounded as I was at the Rotary meeting when we had our district governor here a couple of weeks ago, and he made the comment about, I go to some Rotary clubs and they make me sing, I don't know, whatever they sang. And I thought, well, geez, that's too bad, because I don't know, that's part of Rotary. So why don't we sing our unofficial anthem, Rotary? Are you ready? R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is one big family. From north to south, from east to west, he profits most who serves the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. Hooray. Very good. Give yourselves a hand.
JP, I wanted to mention that, boy, when Sue started to play that, I thought, what the heck, I'm looking for a Confederate flag or something.
Actually, I've been to some Rotary clubs where that would have caused a riot. And people don't, Civil War history, that's the northern counterpart. That was the Grand Army of the Republic's song, compared to Dixie for the South. So there's a great line in a Clint Eastwood movie, a guy's pulling him across the river, and he's like, do this job, you've got to be equally good at Battle Hymn of the Republic as you do Dixie. So before we begin, I'm going to show you all a brief video on the 2016 Rotary Foundation. This actually has dialogue as opposed to the last one I did, which was a glorified music video. So here we go.
Our vision for the Rotary Foundation began 100 years ago. At Rotary's 1917 convention, President Arch Klump proposed an endowment for doing good in the world. His dream expanded the reach of Rotary far beyond the club. A contribution of $26.50 launched our foundation's endowment. A century later, we've spent more than $3 billion on humanitarian efforts worldwide.
Every Rotary project anywhere in the world always started out with one person who had an idea. And then they were able to grow and develop that idea by using that powerful network of Rotary to really change the world.
We are active, we are effective, we are really alive.
Our foundation has always been dedicated to improving lives. The first grant provided aid to disabled children. Today, we are on the verge of ending polio.
Lorsque je vois une mère me sourire après avoir donné le vaccin à son enfant, cela comble ma journée de joie. Parce que j'ai la conviction que cet enfant ne sera jamais handicapé.
Without Rotary, this polio campaign wouldn't be anywhere. And the incredible effort that's been made from the very beginning is really unprecedented.
In the wake of a world war, we made a global impact by funding scholarships for international study. Today, we train the next generation of global peacemakers.
The Rotary Peace Fellowship takes people who have a desire to learn and gives them that opportunity.
Good intentions alone are not sufficient. This is one of the most important things an international organization like Rotary should do.
We all see this as a passion. We've got to do something for change.
not only for young people today, but of tomorrow.
Rotary is dedicated to personal and professional connections, so we created Group Study Exchange to build international understanding. Today, our foundation supports vocational training teams around the globe.
You turn the dial until this color matches this color.
The PTT program allows people to bring specific skills to improve another country.
Rotarians wanted to broaden their impact, so our foundation began funding their projects. A decade later, we began supporting larger projects to address health, hunger, and other humanitarian needs. Today's large-scale grants are measurable and sustainable. They allow us to tackle humanity's greatest challenges. Years ago, Arch Klump had a vision. His vision has become our legacy.
The Rotary Foundation is a great tool to transform the world.
That's what Rotary is all about. Vision to see, faith to believe, and courage to act.
The Rotary Foundation. We are doing good in the world. Let's continue for the next 100 years.
Okay. Sometimes you get a good one, sometimes not so good. I thought that was outstanding. As I've mentioned many times before standing up here, growing any type of service organization has gotten to be a challenge. There's a lot more things competing for people's time, their efforts, their money. Most of the traditional service organizations are experiencing systemic declines in their membership. Even Rotary has seen some of our local clubs cease to exist. The Emmaus Rotary Club, and I say this all the time, is different. Unlike most organizations where success is due to the extraordinary efforts of one or two people, our club thrives because of the daily commitment of its membership to share Rotary whenever they can. This enthusiasm results in a steady organic growth that's one of the hallmarks of a truly healthy organization. So at this point, I'd like to start calling our sponsors to come forward. They're going to read the bios of their sponsored members and have them come forward. So will Bruce Fosselman please come forward?
Please, no applause. Thank you.
Don't worry.
Thank you, JP. I'm very honored and privileged to welcome Rich Ward to the Emmaus Rotary. Rich moved to Lower McCungie in 2004, along with his wife, Debbie, who actually works with me, and she's one of my administrative assistants in the planning department. They've been married for 24 years. They have two sons, Richie, who's a senior at Kutztown University, and Tyler, who's a senior at Emmaus High School. Rich is a senior vice president of Alliance Advisors in Bloomfield, New Jersey, where he consults his corporate clients on governance and proxy-related issues. In June of this year, Rich was appointed to Lower McCungie Township as Board of Commissioners, and he will finish he's finishing the term of Ben Gagliardo, who stepped down. And Rich has decided to run for a 4-year term, and so November 7th, hopefully he'll be elected. He has in the past has served on our Public Safety Commission. He served there for 4 years, and before becoming a commissioner, he was on our zoning hearing board for 2.5 years. He's always given to the community, and before coming to Lower McCungie, he lived in Greenlawn, New York, where he was a volunteer firefighter and an EMT, Chris, so we might have another person to help us here. He's been very involved in the importance of government and giving back to community, and we just welcome Rich to another a community support effort to help us here.
And I'd like to invite Nellie Kabiru to please come forward. She's going to introduce and read a bio for her new member, Elijah Ngugi. Okay, he couldn't be here today, but we're going to recognize him regardless.
Just a little bio that he wrote, and couldn't be here because of the plan schedule. Elijah was born in Central Province, of course, East Africa. And he was born, of course, in a family of 7. He was a Christian family. And he went to high school, graduated, and went to college in the Nairobi University. And so this is where it starts, where he, after graduating, he worked as a journalist at the age of 24. He was privileged to be invited as one of the youngest Kenyan to sit in the committee of translating the Bible. As you know, Elijah is a pastor, eventually, following the footsteps of his father, my father. So eventually he worked in the Bible, and later he was an author of the vocabulary of Kikuyu Bible. That's a common language in Kenya that is spoken by most people there. And of course he joined also a missionary organization that worked also with the translation for a few years. Later he came to the US for graduate school, where he received his master's in clinical counseling. 2011, Elijah also authored a book, The Eagle That Refused to Dance with the Chicken, which actually now is in Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, and other major literature bookstores. In 2007, he started a business in counseling in South Carolina, of course with different challenged individuals like autism, dementia, mental health illnesses as well. Of course, he's honored today to have joined the Rotary Club in the, of course, invited by the sister Nelly. And of course, he would have loved to be here today. He expresses thankfulness for being invited to be part of the selfless mission, and hope his presence will contribute to any form of noble purpose.
Thank you, Nellie. Gary Rohrbach.
Thank you. You better get this right, buddy. I got my notes. Okay, it gives me great pleasure and honor to introduce Dee Yang as a new member of the Emmaus Rotary Club. Dee lived in New York City and in Los Angeles before moving to Allentown in junior high school. She attended Penn State before marrying me and finished her fine arts degree in painting from Cedar Crest College. Dee then went and studied landscape architecture at Temple University and La Napoule Art Foundation in the south of France. She served as office manager for Gary's Tree and Shrubbery Service, as well as did the landscape designs before retiring last September. Gary and Dee have been married 42 years and have 2 children. Dee is a docent for the Allentown Art Museum and also a very active member of the Parkland Garden Club. So.
And now I'd like to invite Seal Birdsell to please come forward.
It's my pleasure to sponsor Kellyanne Herman. She was born and raised and lived in the Lehigh Valley. She's a graduate of Emmaus High School, and she currently resides in Bryniesville. She lived in Emmaus for over 30 years. She has 2 grown children, Steve and Sarah. Steve resides in Allentown and is a senior district manager at ADP. And Sarah resides in Virginia and is branch manager at Enterprise Holdings, which is the Enterprise car rental. Kelly has worked at Lehigh Valley Hospital for 35 years in a variety of roles. She currently works in the Department of Education as the Senior Specialist, Student Affairs, and is responsible for student affairs functions for Lehigh Valley Hospital partnership with the University of South Florida, and it's the Select Medical Student Program. She coordinates transitioning students from USF in Tampa, career advising activities and events, student organizations, and interest groups and student special events and projects. And she has also coordinated admission activities. Kelly holds a Master's of Business Administration with a concentration in management from DeSales University, and is a summa cum laude graduate of Albright College, earning a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. She holds, now this, don't ask me, you'll have to ask Kelly. She holds a Lean Certification and Process Improvement Certification and is trained in behavioral event interviewing as an Association of American Medical Colleges Careers and Medicine Advisor, and as a National Board of Medical Examiners Chief Exam Proctor. And it is my distinct pleasure and honor to welcome Kelly into the Emmaus Rotary Club.
Thank you. And now we have a member of the membership committee, Bob Rust, and he'll continue on with us.
Thank you, JP. Rich, Nellie, on behalf of your brother, Dee, and Kelly, welcome to Emmaus Rotary. You've been invited to join the world's oldest and most prestigious service organization. Since 1905, Rotary International has been a force for good here in America and around the globe, as you saw in the presentation earlier. We welcome you to our ranks and invite you to live the Rotary motto of service above self. It is my pleasure to present to you today your official new member packets. Where are they, JP? Right here?
Right there.
Okay. You'll help me with that, please? Thank you.
That's for your brother, not for you.
The left side of the folder contains some very basic Rotary items. There are two small posters, one of the four-way test and one of the object of Rotary. Both are suitable for framing. Also included is a Rotary International decal and a four-way test wallet card. The right side of the folder contains information about our club and how to be a good member of our club. There are lists of projects, both international and local. There is information on how to maintain your Rotary attendance and a list of local clubs where you can make up meetings. Finally, there is some information how to prepare your classification talk, which will be your final step in becoming a Rotarian, more specifically an Emmaus Rotary, Emmaus Rotary Rotarian. Again, welcome to all of you. Don Brose, would you please step up?
You can talk, Don.
I know I can talk. There's a lot going on here, so.
The silent part of the program.
Yes, yes. We have to make sure the sizes match. So, Rich, Elijah in absentia, Kelly and Dee, I want to present you with the Emmaus Rotary Works t-shirts. Please wear these when you're doing a project around in the community. It is yet another way we can promote and share all the good work Rotary does in the community. Now, you want me to give it to?
Okay, set that one aside.
Thank you. Yes. On behalf of the membership committee and the board of directors, it is a pleasure to present to you the framed certificate of membership. please display this in your office or your home. It will announce your membership to the world's foremost service organization. Now I have your pins. See if I remember this correctly, 24 cog 6 spoke.
24 cog 6 spoke wheel.
Is known around the world as a symbol of Rotary International. Your Rotary pin is to be worn at all and any Rotary functions, otherwise Dale's coming down pretty hard on you. We also encourage you to wear your Rotary pin daily as a sign that you have embraced and try to live the Rotary ideal of service above self. Past Rotary International President Bob Barth felt that the Rotary pin says this about the wearer: you can rely on me, I am dependable, I am reliable, and I give more than I take, and I'm available. Valerie, you're filling in next.
Good morning. Good morning. If service above self is the motto of Rotary, the four-way test is the mantra. This simple and straightforward four-way test was written by Chicago Rotarian Herbert J. Taylor in 1932. It was written to be an ethical and moral yardstick for his struggling club aluminum company. The test was first introduced to Rotary in 1939 during Taylor's term as a Rotary Club president. Formally adopted by Rotary International in the 40s, this 24-word test has never been altered. It remains today a central part of the permanent Rotary structure and is held as a standard by which all behavior should be measured. Rich, Elijah, Dee, and Kelly, my fellow Rotarians, please join me in reciting the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. When we opened the program, I spoke about how our club's continued success is due to the efforts of the membership at large to promote Rotary and encourage service-minded people to join our club. Earlier this year, the membership committee felt those efforts should be highlighted and rewarded. And one way was to publicly and permanently recognize those members who've sponsored a new member with a special sponsor pin. Subsequent sponsorships will be recognized by a hanging number tab. I'd like to recognize, now there's confusion. Are you or Cindy D's sponsor?
I think it was listed as both.
Okay, both. Okay, very good. Well, so here's a sponsor pin for you as Dee's sponsor. I also have a sponsor pin for Sealed Bird Cell and for Nellie.
Not for Bruce.
No, because Bruce Fosselman, who sponsored a member last time around, now gets a number 2 tab to hang from his sponsor.
Someday I'll be number 1.
There you go.
Keep trying.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to dismiss our new members and our sponsors. However, following the Pledge of Allegiance, if the new members can come up, I'll have everybody.
Hold on. If I can get everybody,
Certainly.
including you,
Certainly.
to a picture here.
Bruce, you will always be number 2 to me, Bruce.
Guys, get comfortable with one another. JP, you want to get in there with them?
Certainly. We're gonna need a bigger wide angle lens. Bigger boat.
Okay, everybody say stair chair.
Stair.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, folks, thank you. And remember, if our new members will come up after the pledge. It's always nice to have a doubleheader. What did the great Ernie Banks say? Let's play 2. So today we have a recognition of those who've achieved 100% attendance over the last Rotary year. And on behalf of myself and the entire membership committee, it's always an honor to present this program. Personally, I love the fact that Rotary International recognizes perfect attendance. Rotary is one of the few service clubs that used to have a minimum attendance requirement, although we kind of still have one here in Emmaus. With rare exception, a Rotarian must attend at least 50% of their club meetings to remain in good standing. There are a select group of Rotarians, though, for whom that 50% isn't enough. They're members of the 100% attendance club, and we're going to recognize them here in a few minutes. Now, I know some of the newer members might be thinking, how do these folks make every single meeting? And generally speaking, they don't. The bylaws of Rotary International permit members to do makeups of a missed meeting by attending another Rotary meeting or function within 14 days of the missed meeting. The most common way people make up is to attend another club's regular meeting. We're fortunate here at Emmaus Rotary Club to have several other clubs nearby. You have Allentown West, Allentown, and Bethlehem, just to name a few. Rotary clubs meet 5 days of the week for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. One of the great things about making up at another club is the opportunity to see how those other clubs are run. Meeting formats vary greatly, although it's rare to see a club that's run as well or is quite as fun as the Emmaus Rotary Club. You can also make up meetings if you're out of town. It's a great way to take in some of the non-tourist local flavor of the destination where you're in, and you never know who you're going to run into. Personally, I've met the provost from Louisiana State University, and I once had dinner with the mayor of North Las Vegas. You can also receive a make-up credit for attending an Emmaus Rotary Club board meeting or committee meeting. You just need to be sure to notify our secretary that you've made up the meeting. Not every Rotarian can serve in a leadership role or at the district level. The Paul Harris Society is out of reach financially for many of us. Very few of us will ever have the opportunity to go on a rotoplas or polio inoculation mission. But the one thing that we can all do is strive for perfect attendance. As Rotarians, we're committed to making the world a better place. No matter what we do, though, we know our world will never be perfect. That's why when perfection does occur, it captures our imagination. You get 100% on an exam, a gymnast gets a perfect 10, or a pitcher throws a perfect game. Unfortunately, perfection is often reserved for the select few, those of us that have the talent or the ability to do so. That's why perfect attendance at a Rotary Club is so special. All of us, young or old, rich or poor, new member or 20-year Rotarian, can achieve 100% attendance. Let Rotary help you achieve that rarest of all things in the world, perfection. Let's move on to our honorees. It's always a pleasure to induct someone new into the Perfect Attendance Club. This year we have 3 Rotarians who achieved perfect attendance for the first time. As is often the case, our newest member is our immediate past president, Jeff McElhenney. Jeff, will you please come forward? There you are. Here's your frame. And there is your perfect attendance pin with a 1-year tap on it. Very good. Congratulations. Ironically, our next honoree is not here today. When I called her, though, she made a comment to the effect of, I'm at a Rotary function once a day now. Ladies and gentlemen, the District Governor-elect of Rotary District 7430, past President Cindy Horniman, has achieved perfect attendance for the last Rotary year. Our final first-time perfect attendance inductee, you just heard from recently, is our t-shirt guy, Don Blows. Don, will you please come forward? Speak. Congratulations.
T-shirts for sale.
Our next honoree is our fearless leader. Apparently, he was so committed to Rotary, he never missed a meeting as president-elect, first vice president, or second vice president, because President Bert Duran now has 4 years of perfect attendance. He left. The delicious irony of the in absentia perfect attendance. 1 year I'm going to get perfect attendance at a perfect attendance program. As we've seen, serving in club leadership capacity often leads to perfect attendance. Some folks, though, just love Rotary so much they can't bear to miss a meeting. Our next perfect attendance recipient is in this category, so please help me congratulate Fred Herman for 5 years of perfect attendance. There you are. There's your tab and your certificate. When you first achieve perfect attendance, you get a pin, and then in subsequent years you get the tab to hang down. Our first double-digit inductee today is none other than me. J P Raynock has 11 years of perfect attendance. And I'm here. We now enter into rarefied territory. Our next honoree is a second-generation Rotarian. He's a past president and our current Sergeant at Arms. When clubs want to know how to monetize the office of Sergeant at Arms, they visit with him. Please help me congratulate Dale Dries, 45 years of perfect attendance.
I was 3 when I joined?
No, I did not, but there you are, and there's your tab. Congratulations, thank you. That's good news.
You're honored, aren't you?
Every year, I try and find a way to put our next honoree's achievement into perspective. His perfect attendance streak, I had to change this part. His perfect attendance streak has now stretched out over 13 presidential administrations. Harry Truman, Dwight Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald J. Trump. Queen Elizabeth II ascended the throne 3 weeks before he joined Rotary. The Korean War was barely halfway over. A stamp cost 3 cents, a gallon of gas was 20 cents, and the minimum wage was 75 cents, or about $30 a week. On a not funny note, we saw in the Rotary Foundation video, there's about 27 new cases of polio this year in Afghanistan and Pakistan. When our next honoree joined the Rotary Club, that year there were 58,000 new cases of polio in the United States alone. So that ought to tell you what we've done over that period of time as Rotarians. Assuming 50 Rotary meetings a year, he's now attended approximately 3,250 Rotary meetings. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give a resounding cheer for past president from 1964-1965, Wilmer Schultz, 65 years of perfect attendance.
Hey guys, stair chair.
All right. Thanks again for your commitment to Rotary, all of you folks. And now let's take a look here. Okay, we're just past. I'm going to ask everybody if I could ask our new members to come up, and we'll have everybody come through and greet them on the way out. I know we're running late. If you can shake hands, if not, you just take off. So our 3 new inductees, if you'll come up here and join me at the podium, and folks can shake their hands on the way. And in the meantime, let's stand, and we'll close the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Do I have permission to close the meeting? Okay.
So moved.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. See you next week.